Hi everybody, Kirsten here, and I actually am uploading a video today. I want to apologize because I have been lacking so much in the activity department when it comes to both my book blog and this YouTube channel. With my new schedule, with work and school, my son's therapy, and everything that's going on with having a 2-year-old, I just have not had the time to sit down and read as much as I have in the past, and I'm trying to work on that. So hopefully every weekend I will have a video for you guys. I'm really trying. So today I wanted to do a genre talk, and since my fantasy video just wasn't working out, I thought I'd come back to that one later. So today I'm going to be talking about the new adult genre. And the reason why I decided on talking about this genre is because I get a lot of questions asked about new adult, because a lot of people don't really know what this new adult genre is, because it is still relatively new. So I thought I'd just go ahead and take a moment to talk about it. So the new adult genre is basically a step up from the YA age bracket and a step down from traditional adult fiction. So it focuses on the age group of just graduated high school, in college, or a couple of years post-college. So the target demographic of these books is from 18 to about 25. Now, I'm a little outside of the new adult targeted demographic, but I am still technically a new adult as I am in my 20s. So I actually really love these books, and they do deal with some heavier topics like college, going to school, balancing your first real job, rent, bills, friendships, trying to maintain friendships, being a single mom, trying to go to school, trying to go to work, all of these different things. They encompass all of these different trials and topics that people in their 20s especially tend to deal with. And a lot of times in adult fiction, the age bracket is generally in the late 20s to 30s to 40s, and then you get into obviously the more mature adult fiction. And I have a hard time getting into those kinds of adult fiction, mainly because I have nothing in common with someone that is in their 40s and going through a divorce. It just doesn't happen. So I'm really thankful that there is this new adult genre that gives me a little bit more of an adult topic, but with kind of a YA feel to it. So these books pretty much are a staple in my bookshelves and in my library, so I just wanted to go ahead and talk about them real fast. Now, the thing with new adult you have to be kind of wary of is it's very chick lit. It is. Like, there's no going around the fact that new adult books are chick lit. They are, for all intents and purposes, romance novels. I have yet to read a new adult book that wasn't. So just keep that in mind when you're going into the new adult genre. It's very much a chick lit forte. And there are some new adult books that are written that have more of a fantasy aspect to them. I have not read any of those yet because I have not been able to find any of them in my bookstores. So hopefully bookstores will start to realize that new adult is a good genre for everyone to read, and we'll get more books in this genre. I wanted to talk about a couple of my favorite new adult books and authors, and we're just going to go ahead and start this one off with the big hitter in new adult books, and that is Colleen Hoover. Now, Colleen Hoover is pretty much the queen of the new adult genre. This book, Hopeless, is part of a series, and it could technically be YA, but it definitely deals with more heavier themes. There's more explicit sex in it, so I am lumping this in the new adult category as well. But these are all of her books. Now, we have Hopeless, which follows a young woman in her senior year of high school, and everything is so strange. Her mom doesn't let her have a cell phone. There's no internet. They don't have TV. She's pretty much super sheltered, and she meets a young man, and she realizes they've met when she was younger, and there's just so much going on. And this is a very heartbreaking book. Some of her books are super fluffy, and there's 2 of them that just aren't, and this is one of them. This is not a fluffy read. This is a very heavy, emotional read that deals with some triggering issues like rape, molestation, kidnapping, a lot of different things that just I wasn't expecting when I picked up this book. So just keep that in mind when you read this one. Maybe Someday by Colleen Hoover, super fluffy. Love this book. Takes place in Austin, Texas. This young woman goes to UT. Her boyfriend and her best friend are sleeping together. She leaves, moves in with this young man that lives across the way. He is deaf, but also a musician. And there's a playlist that goes along with this book. And it's basically them falling in love, and it's super sweet. And I love this book. Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover. This is her newest release, and this is also another very heartbreaking story about a young man that just does not have it in him to ever fall in love again, and you find out why in this book, and this is so sad, but I love it just the same. And then you have the Slammed series, and this book series is fluffy, but it has a lot of heavier issues in it about a young woman that falls in love with her teacher that lives across the street. And by teacher, I mean he's basically a student teacher, so it's not kind of weird. There isn't like a huge age difference, because I'm really like against books that have like a humongous age difference between the protag and their love interest. Just not into it. But they're only a couple years apart in age, and they fall in love, and there's actually no sex in these books, which is weird, because usually new adult books have a lot of sex in them, but there's none in this. So it's just kind of like a fluffy read that deals with some heavier issues, but it's really good. It also deals with slam poetry, which, if you know anything about slam poetry, it's like performance art poetry, and it's really interesting, and I love that part of these books. The next book series I'm going to talk about is probably one of the more well-known new adult books, and this is The Beautiful Disaster, or the Maddox Brothers series by Jamie McGuire, and it includes Beautiful Disaster, Walking Disaster, and Beautiful Oblivion. And these books are super hit or miss when it comes to people that read them, because they do have a little bit of more of a controlling relationship. The young man, especially Travis in this book, he is a little mentally unstable, and they never really address it. And he's kind of very controlling in the relationship, and he's very manipulative. So it can seem a little abusive in this relationship, but I, for some reason, just still love the book, even though I tend to not like books that have that kind of a protag in them. And then the third book follows his other brother and a young woman, and it's actually a lot better than the other two, and I actually really love this book, and this is also her newest release. The next author I want to talk about is Cora Carmack, and it's these books, the Losing It trilogy, and I love these books. These books were my introduction to the new adult genre. I love them. They follow 3 different protags. They're all friends. They all know each other. Senior year of college is this one. Graduate school, this one. Trying to discover yourself after college is over is this one. And it's all really great. They're all pretty fluffy reads. My favorite one is Faking It, and I love this book. They can all be read as, they're all companion novels, so they can all be read individually or as part of the series. I definitely recommend, if you're ever going to read a new adult book, you need to read this one, because it's my favorite. Out of all of my new adult books, this one is by far my favorite. Next book series I have an author is the Searching series, and these are by Jennifer Probst, and they only have 2 of the books out right now, but there are going to be more. These are also companion novels, so you can read them separately or in order if you would like. These books follow 3 friends that have a matchmaking service, and it's actually really cute, and I really like these books. They're really definitely a stereotypical romance though, so just keep that in mind when you're reading these ones. Now, I'm not going to talk about all of these books because there's just too many to talk about, but here's some more new adult books. This book is about a young woman that works in a bookstore in New York City, and it's right next to the Strand, and it's a used bookstore, and she becomes pregnant and is a single mother, and it's really interesting, her journey, but keep in mind that this girl is post-graduate school and she talks ridiculously. These books are companion novels, but also part of a series. They follow 2 sisters, so each book is a different sister. I liked If You Leave, but I did not like If You Stay, because this is definitely the epitome of an abusive man, and I just am not into it. So careful of this one. If you are not into controlling men, do not read this book, but this one is super cute. I wish I had the first book in this series, but this is Easy and Breakable by Tamra Weber. These take place in a college. This is a college atmosphere. Keep in mind when you're reading these books, because they look really fluffy and they look like very romancy reads, but these deal with sexual assault on many different levels, both at college and at home. So just keep that in mind when you're reading these books. They are really great. I enjoyed the story, but I know that not everybody can because of the topic at hand. This book, Ignite, is so good. I think the last video I uploaded before the Creatures in the Night video was this book talk. I definitely recommend this book. This is super cute about a young woman who finds herself in a situation where she now has 3 dependents in her care and trying to navigate that and figure everything out. This is one book in a series. I do not have the physical copies of the other books, but I have read all of them. This is the Marked Men series by Jay Crownover. Jay Crownover also has a ton of new adult books. I just do not have any of the physical copies of them. They all follow men that work in the same tattoo shop together, and all of the women that they interact with and all of the protagonist women that are in these books are college age or graduate college age or just entering the workforce. So these books are actually really good. They're all companion novels, so you do not have to read them all in order, but I did because I just have a thing. And if a big pattern that you're going to notice with the new adult books is there's always going to be men with tattoos on the covers, and I think that's what got me into them in the first place. But just keep that in mind. There are so many different types of new adult books. If you are a part of NetGalley, or if you are not, go to NetGalley and sign up, because there is a plethora of new adult books, because there are so many authors writing new adult books right now. You can go onto NetGalley and just pick or choose whatever one you want. I've read some amazing new adult books on NetGalley, so definitely check that out. Now, my only issue with the new adult genre is there's a huge lack of representation. A huge lack of representation. Every single book that I just talked about has white heterosexual couples. Like, that is it. Every single one of them is white and heterosexual. So keep that in mind also when you're going into the new adult genre. There is a huge lack of representation, so I'm hoping that as this genre grows, we'll get more books that have to deal with other kinds of people, because I would really love to be able to read a book that is 2 women or 2 men or interracial relationships. I'm so tired of this lack of representation in. Hopefully, as this genre grows and more authors start writing new adult books, we will get more representation in the genre. So I'm just kind of like hoping for that at some point. But that is my new adult talk. And if you decide that you're going to read new adult, Colleen Hoover is the way to go. That is your gateway drug to new adult books. Just go for it. Just do it, because her books are amazing. But everyone have a great weekend, and I will hopefully have a book talk after I finish In the Afterlight this weekend. Everyone have a good weekend. I hope you all had a safe and happy Halloween, and I will see you next time.